Warning, the following video contains blood, dark spaces, a clown who's friendly in the day but terrifying at night, a jerk on a pole, and very, very conspicuous Mars candy product placement. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey everyone, we are back at Dorney Park for their edition of Haunt this year. This is traditionally our favorite of the haunts at the Legacy Cedar Fair Park, so we are excited to be back here. They have a whopping seven haunted houses and 5 scare zones, so a lot to look at. And we're excited to check out all of them. Unfortunately, none of them are new this year, but I'm guessing they probably made some changes through them, so we're going to take a daytime look at the scare zones as well as a nighttime look at the scare zones. Unfortunately, we aren't allowed to take the camera through the haunted houses, but we'll let you know our thoughts and we'll let you know if anything's changed. So let's go hurry up and check out everything that they have to offer at the park. Here is a look at the haunt map. 7 haunted houses and 5 scare zones. They have the Blackout haunted house over here, number 1. Number 1 scare zone, which is the cleaver symbol, is Dystopia. Number 2 haunted house, Blood on the Bayou. Number 2 scare zone, Port of Call. And then coming all the way down to the Ferris wheel, number 3 is Tourist Trap. Bouncing up, number 4 haunted house is the Roadside Stop and Shop. 3 and 4 scare zones, CarnEVIL and Midway Misfits, respectively. And then they have the by Possessed, they have the Steelyard Scare Zone. They have haunted houses 5 and 6, Trick or Treat and Necropolis, really close together by Steel Force. And then down by Iron Menace, they have the Ghost in the Machine haunted house. Also 3 shows, the Shrieks, the Skeleton Crew, and Sink the Jerk, which actually Sink the Jerk isn't a show, but they have it listed with the shows and experiences. The Shrieks is right at the front of the park, number 1. The Sink the Jerk is in the CarnEVIL Scare Zone, number 3. And then number 2, the Skeleton Crew, is over in the Port of Call Scare Zone over here. Of course, all over the park, they make sure to let you know that Halloween Haunt is presented by Snickers. So brace yourself, because I'll probably be making fun of all the Mars sponsorships around Halloween Haunt all video. The front of the park looks much like it has in years past, with the giant Haunt at Dorney Park sign and their giant skeletons that they like to bring out. They even have a couple back by the Carousel back there. But don't let the similar front fool you. There are some new things here this year. Right next to the Carousel, basically still near the front of the park, they have this new photo op spot. Well, I think it's a photo op spot. It might actually be a scare actor that uses this when Haunt is going on, because they do have the doors locked up, so you really can't actually get back and sit on this throne. But in the daytime, it's sort of a photo op spot. Let's see if there's a scare actor tonight. They also have, in front of the Carousel Emporium, this cool little popcorn box, angry little popcorn box holding some butter and a knife. And I guess when Haunt starts, it will be blowing out a popcorn scent. Yeah. There's some merchandise in the Carousel Emporium that matches that little popcorn bucket out there. The Cinema Slasher at Dorney Park. They also have this baseball cap, a hoodie version. They also have some more general Haunt merchandise, this Haunt mug, a Halloween Haunt at Dorney Park Creepy Vibes hoodie. This bag has AlFEARdo on it. And also this hoodie that says, "No escaping the plague." I'm assuming this isn't normally right in this spot, but as you're entering / exiting the Emporium, they have this giant knife leaning against the Monster Energy machine. The stage on the main Midway at the front of the park is set up for a couple of shows. To kick things off, they have the appropriately named opening Scaremony happening at 6:55. So the actual haunt events start at 7. And then they also have the Shrieks performing at 7, 8, 9:30, and 10. One thing I really like about the opening Scaremonies is that before the show starts, there are scare actors that walk around and interact with some of the guests standing around.
Even in the rain, you sickos truly burn my dead heart. But did you really think it would end here? That your juicy screams would be enough to satisfy me? No, you were never really the true prize. My greatest and final task is now at hand. Dorney Park was just the beginning. This place was my doorway back to Earth, a stage for me to regain my strength and savor your screams. It's been fun, but now I'm finished with this park. Imagine the whole world as my hunting ground. So many innocent souls, all having no idea what's coming to them. Me and you. Yes, I have terrible plans and you're finally ready. You think this is a show. This is the invitation. Because you are no longer my prey. I've exposed you to my nightmare all these years, but this time, you're never waking up. You are now a part of me, and I will spread and grow through you and the people you love. I'm breaking through the barriers of this forsaken park, and after tonight, haunt will never end. Through your voices, your footsteps, your shadows, you'll go back to your world, but you'll never get rid of me. My nightmare will go on and on until it has reached every corner of your fragile world. I can't wait to see what we will accomplish together. Monsters! Yes! My sick and twisted creatures! Let's show them what true chaos looks like! From this night forth, you have no master! I set you free! I release you to rampage this park! What beautiful potential you all have when unsupervised! Enjoy your newfound freedom, my creatures! Take as many souls as you possibly can! People of Hunt, beware! Tell the world Hecate is coming for you all! Long live Hunt!
Unfortunately, all showtimes for the Shrieks were canceled while we were there due to inclement weather. So, to make up for that, please enjoy a little snippet of the show from the 2024 edition of Haunt when we visited. Here's a poster showing all the live entertainment. They have the opening Scaremony and the Shrieks at the Carousel main stage that we just saw. They also have the Skeleton Crew at Port of Call, and now in CarnEVIL they have a brand new Sink the Jerk show, so we'll be interested to check that one out. They also have their family-friendly Tricks and Treats event They have a couple of different events at the center stage, the Spectral Sisters, the Celebration Dance Party, and the Costume Contest. They have the Monsters Are Coming, Charlie Brown appearing at the Peanut Showplace, Bean Boozled near the Tilt-A-Whirl. You can meet Alfundo at his house, and they have character meet and greets periodically in the Peanuts area. So for those of you who haven't heard, the Legacy Cedar Fair Parks now charge for admission to their haunted events since the merger with Six Flags, and they offer the Haunted Attractions Pass. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole controversy surrounding the whole starting to charge for houses thing that people have been upset about, but I just want to straight up tell you, the Haunted Attractions Pass you have to buy to get the access to the houses. It starts at $10. It's flexible pricing depending on crowd level. They also have the option to get a Haunted Attractions Express Pass, which includes the Haunted Attractions Pass, so you don't have to buy the Haunted Attractions Pass and the Haunted Attractions Express Pass. You only have to buy one if you want to go that route. Obviously, the Express is going to be more money, but those are your two options. And again, the Express Pass, the price also varies depending on crowd level per day. The very next day following this recording, Six Flags announced that select parks would be going back to free haunts, and one of those was Dorney Park. So Dorney Park Haunt is now free for the rest of the season. However, I wanted to leave this clip in here because I'm 99% sure we'll see the Haunted Attractions Pass back next year. I think the free haunt is just because of backlash that they received this year, but it will probably be in full effect next year. So I'm going to leave this in here. If you're interested in purchasing a Dorney Park Haunted Attractions Pass in advance, here is the QR code where you can do that. At Amore Pizza, right next to the Cinnabon near the front of the park, they have a special haunt-themed Buffalo chicken pizza, which we might have to try later because buffalo chicken pizza is my favorite type of pizza. Here's a look at the Buffalo chicken pizza. Comes with what I assume is a ranch sauce on top of it and a couple of breadsticks. This one is fresh out of the oven. They actually baked it after Jen ordered it, so should be piping hot. So the sauce on top is ranch like we figured. The buffalo sauce has a really great kick, but it's pretty standard buffalo sauce, nothing really special about it, but the spice level is there, which is much appreciated. In terms of the chicken, I didn't really get much chicken, at least so far in the few bites I've taken. And looking at the pizza, I don't really see a whole lot of chicken either. So that's a little disappointing that they don't have as much chicken as they could on there. But the buffalo sauce makes up for it. We enjoyed it for the buffalo sauce flavor. It does really taste like buffalo chicken. They brought back these themed, I guess, boxes, for lack of a better term. I never know what to call them. They light up at night, they look really cool, but this is them in the daytime. They have them scattered all throughout the Midway. The Midway bar has a handful of themed drinks for the event. You can get a cocktail, the I Want to Drink Your Blood for $15.99. They also have 3 different blood bags, transfusion, alien blood, and zombie juice. They have your standard beers, both draft and canned. And then they have 3 mocktails, which are also blood bags. So if you don't drink alcohol, but you still want a blood bag, you can get either the Vampire's Kiss, the Purple People Eater, or the Pixie Potion. The Midway bar also has an offer. If you get any of their special haunt alcoholic beverages, you can get a free $5 gameplay at any of the games near the Talon area, which the games near the Talon area are just right over here, so it's just a couple of steps away. On the back side of the Midway bar, they show a beer, the Funkle Cake, which is called a Golden Dessert Ale. That's available only at Dorney Park and Illumination Brewing, so they have their own special beer here. The Clucks and Frank's restaurant at the far end of the Midway has the same 3 mocktail blood bags that we saw over at the Midway bar, but they also have some special funnel cake fries. As you make your way toward the end of the Midway and toward Talon, they have this giant, probably 10-foot tall haunt sign. I love seeing this every year. The soccer game near the Wild Mouse lockers has been overlaid into a kick or treat soccer challenge. They have this big neon looking jack-o'-lantern, and the backdrop is also that same jack-o'-lantern. So that's kind of a nice retheming. Past that giant haunt sign, right before you get to Talon, you come to Blackout. Blackout is basically just what it sounds like. It's a completely pitch black house as you're trying to navigate in complete darkness with periodic scare actors. Not really much to say other than that. We say this every year, but we're not really big fans of this house. We wish they would use the space for something else, but it's here. We'll check it out again. So also wanted to mention the sign that used to say that this area right here was the freight lane entrance now says the Haunted Attractions Express Pass, the thing we talked about earlier. And the main entrances of each of the houses are noted by the regular Haunted Attractions Pass sign now. So you would enter, if you have just the regular Haunted Attractions Pass, you would enter right here to get into Blackout. The Dorney Park website describes Blackout as, "Wander through a dark, eerie shadow world. Beware what watches from beyond the haze." And then at the far end of the Midway, as you come to the swings, you're also greeted with the Dystopia scare zone. They moved this last year to this area. They had it deeper into the park previously, but I actually kind of like it here. It kind of works pretty well. Took a little bit of getting used to last year, but this is a nice spot for it. I really love the artwork on these shipping containers. This is one where the daytime really doesn't do it justice because it's made for the nighttime.
Inside the ride at all times.
Once your car is
If you go out the exit directly across from the mouse coaster, there's another sign for Dystopia on the side of the shipping container. But then right past that, if you come around past the Cedar Creek Cannonball train, you can come to one of the first houses near the front of the park. According to the Dorney Park website, Dystopia is described as navigate a lawless post-apocalyptic world of rogue survivors where only the ruthless make it out alive. Blood on the Bayou's over here in this little quiet corner. This, we've been through a couple of different Blood on the Bayous. This one is our favorite of the ones we've been through. It's just so, even the facade is really well done, and it looks like they added new artwork above the door over here. I'm pretty sure in the past this artwork up here was not there. That's really well done artwork. And then the inside of the house is just as good as the outside. Has some great hiding spots for scare actors. Really fun house. Really looking forward to going back through this one again. Blood on the Bayou, according to the Dorney Park website, is described as: navigate the French Quarter where curses possess souls and demons trudge through murky waters seeking their next victim. It looks like they have a couple of kiosks scattered around the park, probably all near where the different houses are, where you can buy your haunted attractions pass, so you can just grab it and go straight to the house. This one in particular is right near Blood on the Bayou. I'm assuming they'll be opening as soon as Haunt starts for the night. Here's a quick look at this year's No Boo necklace for the Cedar Fair Parks. This purple Black Widow spider. The No Boo necklace this year is $16.99. Also a quick look at some other Halloweeny merch. These goofy little ghost poops and pumpkin poop hats. They have this long sleeve Dorney Park Halloween Haunt shirt. This purple long sleeve shirt, All You Fear Is Here. They also have a t-shirt version of the same shirt, same design. The back side of the shirt has vampire teeth. That shirt is $24.99. There's also this Dorney Park hoodie for $46.99. Not too bad for a hoodie. I think we saw this one last year, but it's still a pretty cool design. Big skull on the back. They have hoodies and t-shirts finally that have all of the houses on them. That's something they really did need in previous years. There's the front side of the hoodie and the shirt's the same way. And here's the back side listing all 6 of the houses here. And the price for that hoodie is $64.99. Interesting that actually there are 7 houses here. They left Blackout off of this shirt, which we may not like Blackout that much, but it's weird that they chose to not even put it on their hoodie full of their house names. They also have this fun little Black Widow with the Dorney Park Tricks and Treats family-friendly event logo on the side of it. After passing through Dystopia, if you opt to head left, you'll come to the Whitewater Tavern. The Whitewater Tavern has a few special cocktails for the event. They have the Enchanted Elixir, the Poisoned Apple Margarita, and the Fire Starter. That Fire Starter looks really interesting. Right across from the Whitewater Tavern, you're technically already in the Port of Call scare zone. They already put pirate skeletons hanging up from these poles. Though the main scare zone is basically in the area surrounding Hydra, but it stretches all the way out a little bit in this direction and also stretches out in another direction, which we'll show in a little bit. So here's a daytime look at the rest of the Port of Call scare zone. Very well done with their props and scenery over here. I love the pirate scare actors that are over here at night. The Port of Call pub is one of Jen's favorite places to stop during Haunt for a quick drink. They also have some of the same cocktail blood bags that we saw at the front of the park. Nice photo op here. Halloween Haunt in Dorney Park, Prisoner of Port of Call. Puts in some stockades. And then they have the Skeleton Crew stage for the Skeleton Crew Acrobatics show, which is probably my favorite show outside of Halloween Horror Nights to sit and watch. This is an incredible show. The performers do such a good job. And they added something new here. It looks like a a gong with skulls on it. They definitely didn't have that in years past. Once the port of call is open, during Haunt, they're going to have a couple of special items. Hot chocolate, we can get double fudge, mint, or regular, and they also will have a s'more churro. And the piece of ship closest to the Hydra coaster, you can still see the captain steering the ship, and Mermaid lured him into crashing. That's why the ship's wrecked in 3 pieces. I don't know if that's true lore of this scare zone, but that's what I'm getting. I need to look more into the lore of the scare zone. But anyway, coming down this way, this is the other direction where the scare zone actually continues a little bit. You really don't see any scare actors typically come past this skull here, which this skull normally does light up at night. I'll be interested to see if they light it up this year. But there's your introduction to Port of Call. But the scare zone does continue a little bit in terms of decor down this walkway. There's some barrels and skulls and things hanging up. But you really don't ever see any scare actors come down this far. But I still consider it part of the scare zone because the decor is still here. Gen for scale for the skull. The Dorney Park website describes Port of Call as tread carefully among pirate spirits, or you'll learn why so few ever returned from these cursed shores. Much like the Shrieks, the Skeleton Crew show, all of their showtimes were canceled for inclement weather the day we were there, which is a shame because not only do we love that show, but they clearly had new acts in the show that we were dying to see. Maybe next year. But anyway, here is a look at some of the 2024 show just to make up for not being able to show the 2025 show. If you're here with your kids, they have decorated the Planet Snoopy area with some little Halloween decorations. They have characters in their Halloween costumes, and they have little jack-o'-lanterns with Snoopy and a couple of Halloween costumes. They put some tinsel around some of the rides, Halloween colored bunting. So they've made little changes here and there, family friendly for Halloween. Just outside of Planet Snoopy, they brought back their giant Pumpkin King rising up from the ground. This is one of my favorite statues they bring back each year. We really never walk up to the Ferris wheel. I don't think we've ever ridden Dorney Park's Ferris wheel, but we decided to come up here today because they've parked this nice big Dorney Park haunted truck up here. I think they used to put this out on the main Midway, or it might have been a different truck. I think this design's a little bit different, but yeah, if you come up to the Ferris wheel, there's this cool truck parked right here. It's got haunt on the back too. I'd love to see this thing on the road. That'd be kind of neat. The area around the Ferris wheel is very, very hilly. But if you come down the hill just beneath the Ferris wheel, you'll come to the haunted house Tourist Trapped, which is actually based on a true story that happened back during the World's Fair, and sometime in the 1800s. I don't remember what year off the top of my head, but again, Haunted Attractions Express Pass. This one takes place in a hotel where a lot of murders had taken place. Of course, they exaggerate it a lot. They exaggerate the story a lot for the sake of a haunted house, but that's still a really fun house. I really like the sign for it. And of course, Lifesaver Gummies love to present murder. So the Tourist Trap House is presented by Lifesaver Gummies. The Dorney Park website describes Tourist Trap presented by Lifesavers as check into a World's Fair hotel where tourists vanish and become part of a chilling legend you may not escape. Across from Chickies and Pete's, they have a building that's currently closed that is now currently known as the Raveyard. Not 100% sure what this is. Based on the artwork, I'm assuming it's a ring toss game, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll be by here when it's open, so we'll be able to figure out what exactly is behind these doors. Coming down a very steep hill by the Tilt-A-Whirl, you come to the CarnEVIL scare zone, which, no surprise, bunch of clowns. Can't have a theme park haunt without clowns. So here's the one at Dorney. This has some neat scenery in the daytime. That's fun. A car that crashed into an ice cream cone. It even has a wrecked hood. It's a little ticket booth over here. It goes in a couple of different directions. It goes down this way. Not much down here. It's just a little tiny short walkway with some sideshow characters on the walls there. A little Jack-in-the-Box at the end. But then the central portion of CarnEVIL is the new Sink the Jerk game. $15 for 5 throws. You have to hit that tiny little bullseye in the center of this target. I'm assuming there'll be a person up here when haunt starts. I'm not sure. We'll have to come by and check it out. But they do have actual prizes. They have the Hello Kitty dressed as a red panda. They have some T-Rexes. Right across from that, they also have the CarnEVIL Cans of Doom, which will be open later tonight. $5 for 3 balls. I'm assuming this is a milk can game. They brought back their giant Jack-in-the-Box. I really like this. This one in particular, it does raise up much like the one that they have at King's Dominion, but this one, unlike the one at King's Dominion, does have a couple of smaller clowns in cages.
This place is big time.
For you college sports fans, they have a Tennessee Volunteers elephant on here in Pennsylvania. And then another CarnEVIL sign at the far end. I actually should have came down that side walkway next to, at the very end, next to these boxes. They've put up a new spooky clown head on this wall here. This one is really creepy, especially compared to all the others in the area. The restaurant right past that creepy clown head has become the Feeding Frenzy, which serves milkshakes, hot chocolate, churros, and funnel cake. And speaking of churros, they have a special From the Grave churros, which apparently has candy corn and gummy worms on it, some kind of green sauce. For Haunt, they've changed the names of their games through the CarnEVIL Scare Zone. The water gun game here is now Medusa's Revenge. Next to that, they have a balloon popping game that is Darts of Death. And then next, beyond that, is a bank-a-ball game that they've changed the background to eyeballs, and they call it Blood Bank. And then they have a little basketball game that is Decapitation Dunk. The Down the Clown game over here is still Down the Clown, but now the clown is creepy on the sign. And then their whack-a-mole game, for some reason, is still whack-a-mole with Mario on there. The Dorney Park website describes CarnEVIL as join the carnival mayhem as freak show characters, performers, and wicked clowns beckon you to join the fun.
My socks are wet again! Walk faster!
Hey, Dunk the Jerk. The Jerk is all the way up here. I didn't realize it was going to be way up there. Dropping all the way down from up there if you can hit the target. The Turbo Boats game right outside of the CarnEVIL Scare Zone. Has a couple of Halloween prizes. You can get a giant pumpkin spice latte or this spooky ghost, or should I say a spooked ghost. It looks more scared than we are of it. AlFEARdo was so popular last year that they gave him his own little meet and greet spot. You can stand here in the daytime for a good photo op. I was really excited to see that despite the less than stellar weather at the park that night, AlFEARdo was still out for photo ops. So of course I had to take the opportunity to get a picture with my favorite costumed character. The Edge gift shop right outside of the games outside of CarnEVIL has a few haunt items. They have, that's mostly stuff we've seen before. They have this white haunt hoodie. They have some purple tie-dye haunt t-shirts with the big purple Black Widow spider on it for $29.99. They have a similar design for a hoodie, except it's not tie-dyed. The back side of it has a giant Black Widow spider on it. They have the No Blue necklaces, the Tricks and Treats spider. But the thing I'm most interested in, they have a bunch of AlFEARdo merchandise. If you watched our Dorney Park Haunt video from last year, you know how much I love AlFEARdo. They have an AlFEARdo baseball cap, a t-shirt, a beanie, a drink cup. The beanies in particular, $21.99. The ball cap is $29.99.
Which one is the one you like?
They also have the AlFEARdo shirt that they started selling last year, the ringer tee. But in addition to all the AlFEARdo stuff, they do have some traditional Halloween stuff. This jack-o'-lantern hoodie, skull baseball cap, this Halloween haunt shirt, and a matching water bottle.
I either get large or extra.
But if you're spooked out by AlFEARdo, they do still have the traditional Alfundo plushes here as well. They have this Dorney Park Haunt hoodie, the big Halloween Haunt logo on the front. The back has a really cool design that Jen will show you. This spooky jack-o'-lantern surrounded by other jack-o'-lanterns. And that hoodie is, in terms of price, it is $69.99. Even though we're not going too in depth into the Tricks and Treats event in the daytime here is a quick look at their map of what they have. It's all situated in a small area of the park, kind of near Steel Force. And here's a list of the activities you can do. The Mask Makers, Frame-Worthy Frights, More Than a Feeling, etc., etc. There's 10 total, and they also have a trick-or-treat trail with 7 different themed places for kids to stop. They have 1 souvenir location and the 3 show locations that we looked at earlier. The Frame-Worthy Frights is a paint-by-number wall. Looks like there is a jack-o'-lantern filling it over here and probably some candy on the left. Just past that paint-by-number wall is where the BOOlevard is. They do 5 showtimes daily when Haunt is going, well, when Tricks and Treats is going on at 12:15, 1:30, 2:45, 3:45, and 4:45. Across from the Tilt-A-Whirl, they have a little station where you can make your own masks to wear. These are some examples of some of the mask designs that they have available. Also, right past that are a couple of fun little statues of Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein, as well as a stack of jack-o'-lanterns. Which one's Jen and which one's the bride? I'm not sure. Right past the Feeding Frenzy restaurant, they have one of the trick-or-treat trail buildings, this one a haunted castle. Also, they have More Than a Feeling over here where you can actually get a s'mores kit for $7.99 and sit down by a fire and toast your marshmallows. And this building right here used to be a hamburger restaurant. It's now just permanently a Coca-Cola refresh station, so you can refill your drinks here. In the same area for Tricks and Treats, they also have this fun little pumpkin chair. Similar to the big popcorn bucket we saw at the front of the park, here is a scared candy corn. All these teeth that have fallen out, and he's being attacked by toothbrushes. And I guess they'll have candy corn scents pouring out of here. Laid by the center stage. They brought back this fun little skeletal family. Husband, wife, and a doggy. The skeletal dogs still fetch bones.
I'm Raquel. I'm Inez. I'm Paige. And we're Bum Bum Bum, the Spectral Sisters. Can you believe we're sisters? We're so different. I'm the flirty one. I'm the silly one. I'm the sassy one. We'd like to thank you all for stopping by center stage, especially you. See, a flirt. Before we get too carried away, let's get to what we're dying to do. Haunt your hearts with our siren song, the serenade from beyond the grave. This one goes out to all the beautiful strangers. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. Different honey boys coming every day like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Take my heart, don't fear the reaper. Don't fear the reaper. Take my heart, don't fear the dance break. Don't ask for who the cowbell tolls, it tolls for thee. What? Don't mind her, she's the silly one. Ha 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 ha. So silly. Shall we sing another? But of course. A romantic one? But of course. So you're a tough guy, like a really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so puff guy. Bad time, think of a sad time, make the girl for bad time, find confusion, bad time. I'm a bad guy. Da-bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum. I'm only good at being bad.
at the Center Stage Fries, which is right on the back side of Center Stage. You can pick up these same mocktail blood bags that we've seen elsewhere. They also have some jack-o'-lanterns and a cauldron decorations out in front of it. Just past the Center Stage is the entrance to the Roadside Stop and Shop. Even though they have the sign for just past Center Stage, it's actually a little ways down here past Demon Drop. In much the same way that Port of Call had theming extending way past the actual scare zone, the Roadside Stop and Shop has some decor coming all the way out next to Demon Drop, well outside of the actual haunted house. These spooky scarecrows holding these buckets. I'm pretty sure these scarecrows were not here last year, but the Roadside Stop and Shop house itself, which I'm actually finally getting better at saying that name. I used to always have a really difficult time for some reason saying Stop and Shop. I don't know why, but yeah, the car right here will periodically honk at passersby. We weren't able to capture that on camera last year, unfortunately, so I hope we have the chance this year. They have pumpkins. You can probably tell it's kind of a farm / corn maze type of haunted house. Really cool facade. You can see the sign above the car lets you know you would go left through the corn here to go use your regular Haunted Attractions pass, and then if you have the Haunted Attractions Express pass, you would go through this gate right here. And the Roadside Stop and Shop is presented by M&M's. So thank you, M&M's, for bringing us this spooky event. The Dorney Park website describes the Roadside Stop and Shop, presented by M&M's, as stop in for a fresh family recipe where you're the prime ingredient in this twisted roadside jam shop. By Dominator, which is also by Center Stage, you come to the Misfits of the Midway scare zone. Very, very tiny scare zone, just this little tiny walkway right here. It's mainly a photo op and the Misfits bar. This is probably the best look at the scare zone we're going to get, because when it's open during the night, they have a DJ up top, and this area is very, very loud. You will not be able to hear me speak in this area at night. The cool thing about this area is the scare actors change what their theme is every single week in this area. It looks like this week's theme is Full Moon Frenzy, so probably a lot of werewolves here. In the past, we've seen mummies, we've seen Alice in Wonderland, so that's cool to see something different. We've never seen this Full Moon Frenzy one before. The Midway Misfits, according to the Dorney Park website, are described as face shape-shifting fiends on the Midways, each ready to prey on your deepest fears from every angle. At the base of Dominator, the drop tower, they also have this fun little pumpkin with a witch riding a broom with a cat on the back of it. Any guesses what color this cat is? If you said black, you're wrong. It's an orange cat. Alfundo periodically will come out wearing his Halloween best this time of year. Right past Alfundo's house, they have a row of kid-friendly games. They have a spin the wheel game. They have a candy corn toss, which looks like it's a ring toss game. They have the spooky tower, which is a bell ringing strength game. They have the witch's brew, which is, it says pull the witch's brooms and match the colored broomsticks to win. So that's interesting. That was a little something different. I really like the decor inside there. And then they have Witch Pitch. Try to knock out all the witch's teeth to win some prizes. They also have a special offer. If you spend $30, you can play all 4 games and win 4 prizes. And you can also spin the wheel, that first wheel that we saw. Spin the wheel for a bonus prize when you purchase that bundle. The Steelyard Scare Zone has the big sign in front of it, Forge Your Fear, with the E being lowercase for the FE to represent iron, which is kind of cool. First thing you come to in the Scare Zone is the sipping container, which is surprisingly open early today. They also have the same 3 cocktail blood bags that we saw elsewhere. They also have the mocktails as well, the same 3 mocktails we've been seeing other places around the park. Oh, it looks like they have a little something extra in the Steelyard Scare Zone this year. I'll have to check out what this is over here. It was mainly in years past these shipping containers with the vents, the steam vents sticking out of the top of them. This one, oh, it's another one of the trick-or-treat houses. Okay, so they have a trick-or-treat house just outside of the Scare Zone. That's kind of interesting. I do like that this one is themed to the factory with the McTavish Steel logo on the side. That's just a really strange place to put a trick-or-treat trail building. This area doesn't look like much in the daytime, but when it's all lit red and very foggy, that can be pretty creepy. And I like that they have signs on both sides of the Scare Zone, so no matter which way you enter, you get to see the sign. The Dorney Park website describes Steelyard Forge Your Fear as brave the haunted Steelyard, where ghostly iron menace spirits torment all who dare enter.
Nice sweatshirt, the Beast. Yeah. Now you're at Dorney Park's Halloween Haunt, and you're at the Steelyard where we forge your fear. I'm Stanley Steele. I was McTavish's muscle. And if any of these brats get out of line in the Steelyard, I knock them back in it. join me.
Inside Steelyard Gifts, they have a few Halloween items. They have this Halloween throw blanket, which actually a few other stores have that one, but I didn't point it out until just now. This store in particular, though, this is a good one to point it out in because they actually have the blanket unfolded, and here you can see what the entire image looks like. It's a pretty cool image with the Plague Doctor over in the corner. They also have, speaking of Plague Doctors, they have this little plush one. They have a Dorney Park Haunt mug logo. And they have this jack-o'-lantern wearing a witch hat. I think this is a hoodie. I'm kind of afraid to unfold it because I wouldn't be able to fold it back again, but it is a pretty cool design regardless. They have these water bottles that I think are the same ones from years past. And they also have the shirt and hoodie that list all of the haunted houses that we looked at earlier. They also have this zombie hat that has a bite taken out of it, which is funny. They have a jack-o'-lantern baseball cap, a regular Dorney Park Haunt shirt, this orange jack-o'-lantern shirt, or actually this might be a hoodie. Yeah, I think this one's a hoodie, this jack-o'-lantern here. And they have a Ghost in the Machine shirt, which they had last year. I actually got this because of my love for this house. I really like this shirt a lot. Outside the store, they also have that Dorney Park Haunt design that we saw on the mug on a hoodie as well. And they have the t-shirt version on the other side of the clothing rack. That throw blanket that we saw in the store can be yours for only $25.99 if you also spend $30 on other items. Near the sign for Iron Menace is the sign for the Ghost in the Machine haunted house, but much like the Roadside Stop and Shop house, the actual entrance to the house isn't until way down here. You still have a little bit of a hike to get to the house. Though as you're making your way there, they do have some cool stuff to look at. They have this Ghost in the Machine banner on the light pole. They also have one for the Steelyard Scare Zone a little farther down. Here's that Steelyard banner. And up past that is the sign that tells you where to go if you have your Haunted Attractions Pass or your Haunted Attractions Express Pass. If you have the regular Haunted Attractions Pass, you would go in the queue right here, right by empty buckets. And then if you have the Express Pass, you would go all the way up right by the house itself. All the way down here, here is the facade of the house right next to a set of restrooms. And here is the Haunted Attractions Express Pass entrance right here. So it is very, very close to the house compared to where you enter with the standard pass. Ghost in the Machine, according to the Dorney Park website, is described as explore an abandoned steel factory haunted by restless spirits and the echoes of groaning machinery. The Road Rally car driving ride has gotten a Halloween overlay. Bunch of candy corn and pumpkin figures all along the course. This is just a small chunk of the course. It goes pretty far that way, but they cluster a lot of fun stuff in this little area. I'm glad we get this view from here. Those decorations on Road Rally are because they've changed the name of it to Road Rally BOOlevard for the season. So the Necropolis house right next to the Revolution spinning claw ride has changed a little bit. This area used to be the entrance to the Necropolis. Now it is only the exit. You will come out here. So they changed the entire route of the house. The entrance is now over here, flanked by a couple of gigantic skeletons in robes like Grim Reapers. Those skeletons are awesome, and the fact that they changed the entrance makes me wonder how the route of the Necropolis is going to go now. We're excited to check this one out later tonight. They also have these funny little ghosts. A couple of them look like they're melting. But anyway, I got distracted by that. what I was going to mention was the doors both say Haunted Attractions Pass here. I don't see a sign that says anything about the Haunted Attractions Express Pass, so now we're going to have to refigure out where the Express is for this. According to the Dorney Park website, the Necropolis is described as escape vengeful undead spirits who crave new souls to join them in eternal misery beneath Dorney Park. Interesting dichotomy on these banners. Tricks and Treats on one side and then Necropolis on the other side. Zombies. Right outside the Necropolis, they brought back this really weird phantom foam pit. It's just I don't want to film too much of it because there are kids in there, but there is just a little square wooden box that they fill with foam that kids and adults can both get into to play. And here comes the foam now. It is fun to watch, even though I still think this is really weird to have this right here. Right outside the entrance to Steel Force, they added this little photo op with these spiders covering some trees in their web. They have some eggs laid too. Ooh, Jen's spooked out by the spiders. And last but not least, the last house on our list is Trick or Treat, which they also have a Trick or Treat at King's Dominion. They both have very different facades, but they're both neat in their own way. This facade of Dorney Park's Trick or Treat is a really twisted, abstract facade of a house. So as you enter, you can see to the left of the sign, this is the express entrance into the Trick or Treat house. And then if you have the standard Haunted Attractions Pass, the entrance is right here. You'd kind of wind around the queue and then eventually go in right there, also underneath the sign. And Snickers like witches. The Dorney Park website describes Trick or Treat, presented by Snickers, as dare to enter the witch's creekside house where sisters seek youth and beauty at your expense. The area down below Thunderhawk used to be a scare zone for the last 2 years known as the Hollow, but now it looks like they no longer use this as a scare zone, though they do still have some of the props that were there from previous years. They have this big spooky tree. And they have these light up jack-o'-lantern structures. They have one here and they have another one over there. But that's basically all that remains of the Hollow, which is a shame because that was one of the better scare zones they had here. I can't believe they would get rid of that one. Across from the Scrambler is another one of the scented boxes they've had around the park. This one is a pumpkin making pumpkin pies. Seems kind of morbid when you think about it. Jen's showing what the pumpkin's doing. Have all the pumpkin spices and brown sugars and eggs and butter down here. I love the face on this pumpkin though. And those little mini pumpkin pies look delicious. He's baking them at 1,000 degrees, no wonder he's panicking. Right past the panicking pumpkin, they have a couple of Tricks and Treats photo spots. The first one is this witch photo spot that Jen's sticking her head through. Her brew has a lot of hay in it. And then there's this little scarecrow with a pumpkin head. Jen's excited to be in the scarecrow. Finishing the loop that began at Alfundo's house and then went by Thunderhawk. At the end of that loop is this little photo op and a giant jack-o'-lantern. There's a little carousel horse just to the left of the funnel cake shop at the front of the park that's changed its, I don't know what you call that, right on top of the saddle. It's changed it to the Haunt logo. I love how they changed this seasonally. Always enjoy when a drive-in becomes a die-in. Always nice when the R and the V disappear. You know it's spooky season. At night they turn the Haunt sign an eerie red glow. As usual, we're going to start the night with Blackout, and because of the strobe lights from last year, it looks like they decided to not do that and make it just red lighting this year so that people don't have any problems walking by this sign, which is a nice change. There are two things that I look forward to every year. One of them is Halloween Horror Nights. The other one is this specific house, Ghost in the Machine. So I'm really excited to get to go through this one again. So we're going to try to talk about 2 haunted houses at a time in the interest of time, since Dorney Park has so many houses. We started off our night going through Blackout, which we've said a bunch of times that Blackout is our least favorite house here. It was pretty much the same as every other year, a lot of real dark rooms, a bunch of zigzagging back and forth. They did have a decent amount of scare actors, but 90% of the scare actors were clustered at the very end, which is kind of strange. I don't know why they decided to do that this year. It is nice to see more scare actors, but I wish they were more spread out through the house. Would have made it a little bit more fun. So yeah, just because it was pretty much the same thing as usual, it was still probably our least favorite house here, even though we haven't done them all yet. But by contrast, we came all the way to the far back end of the park to visit the Ghost in the Machine house, which, if you've paid attention to our other Dorney Park videos, you know I absolutely love this haunted house. And it was just as good this year as it's been in the past. It was chock full of scare actors, amazing effects. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to come back through this again. It's just as good as ever. There is a scare actor outside, during the outside portion of the maze, that is hanging by a chain that can swing back and forth across an area. The scare actor this year was actually hanging upside down from whatever chain they were attached to. So that was a really freaky effect to look up and see them sitting there with their head pointed toward you instead of their feet. So they keep making little subtle changes to the house, and it's always great. We still love the house, and we're glad it was a nice palate cleanser from the Blackout house. The first house in our next group of 2 is Necropolis, which is mostly outdoors, so this should be fun in the rainy weather. I always enjoy capturing some projections at theme parks. They have some spooky eyes on the ground near the Necropolis house. And then the second house in this group of 2, the very nearby to Necropolis, Trick or Treat house. So for Necropolis, basically what they did is they had you enter in what used to be the exit and exit at what used to be the entrance. So basically they flipped it around, but they did more than just flip it around. They put new props in there, new hiding places. So it was kind of fun. They had a chair basically where one of the scare actors was sitting in there in a little kind of alcove. It was kind of fun. I really enjoyed that. So when we went through it, it used to be more open because it's literally just you walking through a cemetery, but now they've kind of streamlined it a little bit, made it a little more maze-like, and by doing so it made it feel a little bit shorter because you had more free reign in the other house, the previous version of the house. So it was a little disappointing that it felt a little bit shorter, even though it really took up the same amount of space in the park. But the scare actors in there were really great. They were really after me and Jen specifically, so that made it a lot of fun for us personally. But overall, we wish it felt a little bit longer, but we enjoyed it overall. As for the Trick or Treat house, that one we always find to be a bit short, but we were lucky this time that we were at the back of a group of people, so we were able to take our time a little more, made the house seem a lot longer, which made it a lot more fun. These scare actors, there were a ton of them in there, and they were really jumping out frequently, so had really good scares in there. We enjoyed it despite the fact that it wasn't as long as we wish it could be. Starting our third group of 2 is the Roadside Stop and Shop. It's good to get this outdoor one out of the way before the rain gets really bad. Well, it looks like the Raveyard never opened for Haunt, so we're just going to have to make an assumption. I'm assuming it's a ring toss game. And then our second house in the group of 2 is Tourist Trap. Jen noticed a fun little subtle Easter egg on the car that I never would have seen if she hadn't mentioned it. Nice little shout out to Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. the Blue Ribbon Jam logo that you can find on the coaster. So in the next group of two, the Roadside Stop and Shop behind us here, we got lucky and we got a private walkthrough of that haunted house, so we got all the scares. There were plenty of scare actors and they hid really well. There were a lot of shadows, so a lot of cubby holes, a lot of places for them to hide. They jumped out at just the right time and they scared the daylights out of us, so we had a really good time going through there. They also have some great props. They added some props, much like some of the other houses here. They've made some good changes to the house, a lot more, let's just say a lot more bodies in there, which makes it kind of fun, so we really enjoyed that one. Tourist Trapped was much the same. They added a lot to that. They had a new projection at the top of a stairway of some ghostly figures, which was fun. They also added some limbs that were twitching, and they had a couple of other little animatronics. They were kind of simple animatronics, but just the fact that they took the time to add something like that to Tourist Trapped and improve it was a lot of fun. So it's great to see that they're making these changes to these houses. We really had fun going through both of them. And then last but not least, the single house remaining, Blood on the Bayou. So Blood on the Bayou, always another one of our favorite houses here. This year it was just as good, if not better. They added more things, like some of the other houses we saw. They added new effects. They had a really cool projection of a head in a crystal ball sitting on top of a tarot table talking to you. We were at the back of our group and we were taking our time. We really kind of almost wanted to see the whole loop of animation play out. It was so cool. And then there was a little spider in a cage that jumped out and scared us. There was a whole bunch of stuff in there, and they kept their ending animatronic that I've never spoiled what that animatronic is, and I don't intend to spoil it now, but it's such a fun animatronic. It's a great way to end that house. Fun time going out into the swamp, seeing gators and little moss-covered creatures. There's just so much to like about that house, and it was a nice one to save for last. The Good Time Gifts gift shop at the front of the park has basically the same selection of merchandise we've seen elsewhere in the parks. I won't go into it too thoroughly, but wanted to mention they brought back their little skull throne here for people to sit in and get their picture taken in. So that'll do it for this year's look at Dorney Park's Haunt. It was a shame that we couldn't catch either the Skeleton Crew show or the Shrieks thanks to the inclement weather, especially considering the weather wasn't that bad. It was just a light mist all day. I guess with one show being acrobatic and another show using electronic instruments, I guess I understand why they couldn't do them, but it's really a little bit disappointing, a bad luck on our part to be here on a day where the weather was like that. But I hope you enjoyed the splicing in of last year's shows to at least give you a taste of what the shows are like. As far as the houses go, of course, you could probably tell from our commentary that the Ghost in the Machine house is still our favorite here, but other houses have really improved. They've added so much to every single house here. It was really enjoyable. Number 2 for me was probably Blood on the Bayou. Number 2 for Jen is the Roadside Stop and Shop, partially because of all the personal attention we got going through there without any other people in our group. As far as the scare zones go, they were loaded with scare actors. We enjoyed every one of them, and we were glad to be able to bring our camera through and show you what they were like also. And of course, as usual, our least favorite is Blackout. We really wish they would change the theming of that one, use it for something else. I mean, it's okay. It's not the worst thing they could do, but yeah, we really hope in the future they decide to use that spot for a new themed haunted house. Especially if they're going to be charging for the houses, it would be nice to see one new haunted house a year, maybe, if they can pull that off, I hope. But maybe that's a pipe dream. But anyway, if you enjoyed this look at Dorney Park's Haunt, we would appreciate it if you'd give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Every like and subscribe is a big help to the channel. Also, clicking that notification bell helps as well. And right above Jen is our Instagram page. Right below that is our Threads handle. And then right beneath Jen is our email address. Please feel free to email us any questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism. We read all of them. We appreciate any feedback that you give. So, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for watching, but the fun's not over yet. Click the box in front of my face for another fun video, or click my tree to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video.